to Off the Road Railroad, where we are here to showcase what is possible with Railroad Online's gaming engine and to show off our area, some of our builds, introduce us, and let you know that we're going to be doing some shorts. I do have a guest visitor today, Trainwreck Films. He's joining us for it to comment on the game and what he's seen about it and tell us a little bit about him and his site. I'm
Hey, how's it
Zernon.
going?
So sorry about that.
Oh,
That's all
mother.
good.
We just had a crash.
Perfect. We are off the rails and we've had our first crash. That's just what I wanted to hear. Where's he at?
Well, it saves the name of the railroad, right?
Yeah. Is it
I'm at the
lumber?
switch. I'm at the switch yard.
All right. Well, we'll keep working it if you want to take care of that derail issue there, bud, and we'll catch up with you here in a few. So, yeah, we're gonna. This game is built on physics. When you are driving a train, they do not snap to the tracks. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
they just sit on it, and it's very, very easy to derail by going around a corner too fast, or as this game is in pre-release right now, you can hit an invisible spline, which is a little tiny piece of track that will send your poor engine and carts tumbling through time and space.
Yeet.
So, that being said, we're going to jump right into it. Mr. Trainwreck, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm actually a model railroader. I do G scale. Um, uh, when I saw this game come out, I don't know how I saw it, but I was like, "What is this?" And I said, "Take my money." I know it's in alpha or pre-alpha or whatever we want to call it, but what it is so far is I would say a good 100 or more times than any other train simulator I've ever seen. The amount of detail the devs have put into all the models is just mind blowing. So it has been worth every penny that I've spent, and it has given me so much joy for the last month it's been out.
Oh, most definitely with spent way too many hours on this, and you will all soon see. Just to give you a view of what you have to do. You're gonna have to forgive me. I am going into first-person mode here. When we are laying tracks, if you want to follow right over here, we'll just go to this area. When you're laying tracks, it's literally grab a rail, and that's a rail, and it does not go all that far. So you don't get to run a super long track. You have to do it in tiny little sections, and it's real easy to get really bad bends in there. We'll just give a little demonstration here.
Ooh,
Yeah, see
oh,
what I
that's
mean?
fun.
Yeah, I don't even think the porter would make it around that curve.
Nope, that'd be a fun test
So,
though.
yeah, right? Um, you have to lay the rail bed, and when you first lay the rail bed, it looks like this when you put a track on it. However, you can actually destroy all the rail bed and relay it, and then you get this really nice smooth rail bed that looks really smooth.
Yeah.
Um, Now, getting into it, this is our rail yard. We do have a derail, so these trains, at least another one of them, should be out of here, but it is getting taken care of. It sounds like someone forgot to flip a splitter. And yes, if you forget the switches, your train is going for a ride. But
Yeah.
we have four trains running. No, three trains running tonight. Usually we have a couple more, but it's okay. We'll make do with the three. Oh, I'm sprinting, and let me get out of third person here. So this game does allow you to name all your trains. We've got Big Berry here, which is a Class 70, and OTR Railroads. That's us. All of our trailers have that. You get to choose your numbers. You can do some interesting changes, like you can change the funnel, you can change the lights. Not very many options yet, but there's supposed to be more coming. You have to use water towers, which only have a set amount in and slowly refill to refill the tenders and the locos themselves.
Mhm.
Now, this game only has. I keep hitting shit. Sorry about that, guys. This right now in the current state, this game only has two types of groundwork. You've got your variable grade and constant grade for the dirt bed, and then you've got stone walls, and that is it for building materials. You also have two types of bridges. We'll get into those here shortly. one of which is a wooden bridge and one is a metal bridge. But we'll show you those here in a bit. Now, using just what you have to work with doesn't sound like you can make all that much. Someone's getting excited to leave. Oh boy, we might want to stay off the
Really?
tracks.
Look both ways.
You
Yeah.
gotta.
How'd that derail turn out?
Simple matter, really.
All
Sorry
right.
about
You know
things
what?
just can't click here.
Hear it off the rails. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, you know what I got to say to this is that, I know your railroad's called off the rails, but if you don't flip a switch, it's just like real life. If you don't flip a switch, you're going to derail and you're going to go on the ground. So it's accurate. So that's what I love
Yes.
about it.
This right here is using the. There's only two types of tracks that you get in the game. Right now, that is the rail deck and the regular rail. You get a bunch of switches, more are coming. You get just a 90-degree crossover. More of those are supposed to be coming, and two turntables. You'll get to see those demonstrated here in a minute. So, with just the building materials we have, we've made a very nice little shed here that holds our engines. And these are becoming more common with everybody. The game's only been out for a month. So, that being said, these are starting to get a bit more common. People are starting to learn how to do these tiny little pieces of track bed and make them look halfway decent. And then a few people, such as myself, have learned how to do vertical tracks to make walls. So this is something that's been a learning curve, and the groups, everybody's finally starting to pick up. Now, this one took me about 30 minutes to make at most. It was a real quick shed. The monstrosity you see in front of you is what you can accomplish if you're patient and you use wow, what happened here? That must have been a piece of track I laid.
I was just about to say that, but I was just gonna be
Yeah.
quiet.
Nothing derailed here.
But you
it
know
doesn't
what?
matter.
You know what? It's alpha. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
That
fine.
and it's
fine.
the porters. The porters handle anything.
But
So,
going back to what you were saying, whatever you guys have made, my mind is still like
this right here is
trying to
6
wrap around it.
hours of work, and it's all freehand except for one. You can set angles with tools in this game, and we use the angle tool on the inner circle, which will show off, and that's it. Everything else was freehand. And 6 hours of that doesn't look right, break it, start over. That doesn't look like. And now, after the 6 hours, we've got this tiny little hut built into the side of it with some really nice deco, which most people are not doing yet. They're just throwing their sheds up with no decoration. Whereas we've liked to take things a step farther. Beautiful decoration, and we are also the only double decker, as far as I know, on Railroads Online. We are the first and only to have a 30-car shed, top and bottom, both fully functional, with a round table. They just snap right into the tracks to make it nice and smooth. And we have a total of, I want to say 7 locos we put in here, and for some reason we have a shunter in here. Oh boy.
It's
Temporary.
It's the heavy shunter.
Yeah,
The
it's a
heavy shunter is fine in here.
So we'll go ahead and go up top. We'll go around back. The circle I was talking about, and yes, it's empty because all our trains are actually out, and some of them are actually in use. You'll get to see them go by. That being said, this is early access, and I would like to address something that a lot of people are having issues with, and that is desync. It
Oh, boy.
yeah, it is an amazing game for what they've done so far, and I can't wait to see what else they give us.
Yeah.
However, desync can be very, very scary. I am the host. I haven't seen it yet because I spend all my time as the host computer. I'm going to turn it over to Ross for a second. Rosander, please tell us what you've
Oh.
experienced with desync, especially our favorite bridge in all of our area, desync bridge.
Desync bridge. Gotta love it. We had a earlier save where, at one super specific point, the trains would start doing the wave. Quite literally, the loco would jump, and then go back. The tender would jump, and then go back. and so on and so forth, all the way down the train as you go past this one specific point. Afterwards, it was always referred to as Desync Bridge. We have homage to Desync Bridge. It doesn't desync nearly as much anymore, but it's
Now,
also routed differently.
we also just had a first recently, and I'm pretty sure you were driving one of those trains. What was the first we just recently had?
Uh,
Two
what was
trains
it?
passing each other on the bridge.
Oh,
Fully,
yes.
our bridge is double lined, and you're going to get to see that here in a minute. This is also a first.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think I've ever seen this anywhere else, and I've been watching other streams. I'm always in the other Discord. So this is something that we've pioneered, and it is amazing. And we
It's a
actually,
beautiful sight.
you get to see two trains passing each other, and the downside is if you're not the host, it does cause the trains to dance a little bit.
More dancing, your FPS will probably tank a bit.
Yeah. So, but let's move on. Let's go up top, and we'll check out up top real quick. Once again, nobody's doing the deco really. A few people are, but it's really rare. We have a beautiful footpath, and that takes us up. And if anybody does like this and does want to learn how to do this, let us know. We'd be more than happy to run a tutorial on how to make it. We'll probably do it.
I would love to see that.
Okay, cool. Maybe we'll have you around when we make it, and we'll both make one together. How does that sound?
Ooh, legit.
That would be fun. We'll probably do it on a new save, because actually this is the first thing that was built on this save. The very first thing we built was this.
Was this cathedral of a of a
Yeah.
a roundhouse?
Yep. I wasn't going to build anything until I had my roundhouse.
And that is very true. We didn't even get the shunting yard or any of the lines hooked up until after this was built.
Everybody left Discord and left me to my building. And I'm pretty sure a couple of them were a little irritated with me because 6 hours of playtime went down the drain. But when they got back, jaws did drop. So, fully functional. Here is the other version of the roundhouse. The planks are a little bit lighter. And that's it. They're still fully functional. Every one of these walls has a stop in it so your trains don't glitch through the walls. I haven't had any yet on this save, but the last save I did have a train go through a wall. It was quite comical.
You know what would be an interesting challenge for you? Let's see you make this a triple decker.
Challenge accepted.
Oh,
We're going to need it anyways if we keep growing like we do. All right,
Yeah.
so shall we hop down? Actually, we'll walk down, and then we'll walk through our refill station. Now, a few people have seen this. We've all shared our streams with a few people in Discord on the main RRO server. But for the most part, we haven't allowed screenshots to go out of anything we've been working on in the last week. We've had a few invites. We've tried to build a little bit of hype in Discord, but other than that, we've been quiet. This is the only bridge I know of like this where it has double side paths that complement each other.
Yeah.
It's, once again, we don't want just functionality. We want it to look nice. We want it to be an area we enjoy being in. And this is what's capable with this game right now. Even with only 2 textures. Imagine if you only had red and blue to paint with. That's all you got. How hard would it be to paint a masterpiece? And I'm going to tell you, with 4 colors, I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, definitely.
And
While there's obviously room for improvements as the
Always.
devs improve their game, we're looking forward to that.
I can't wait to see what I come up with next.
again, if this is where
I'm
we
half
started,
afraid.
if this is where they started, I cannot wait to see what they're going to be doing going forward.
Precisely.
Here's another first for our server, and actually, the person that's not with us tonight that I wish he was Vertidaddy, and he gave me the idea for this. He goes, I wish we could use 2 water towers to fill a train with, and I said, well, why can't we? And believe it or not, it's twice as fast. The water tower's filled at the same rate, but since you're using 2, it only has to fill up half as much, so you get there twice as fast. We added the deco.
Yeah, we need a firewood run here.
Yes, we do.
I love the flanking you did down here.
Well, that's kind of why it's not done. I may have gone through and removed all the wood while nobody was looking.
You know everyone else will ostracize you for that.
Oh, I know, I know. This is
Look,
what it's
I'm
supposed to
guilty of
look
that
like.
too with a few of the things we've done.
This is what it's supposed to look like. But I wanted to show off the planking and our little footbridge, which nobody has. And then when we start showing our shorts, we had to put in a wheelchair accessible ramp.
Are you trying to take my head off with that firewood?
Oh boy. Go ahead and throw it so they can see it. Oh, that works too.
Here.
You really get some good distance on these. Hey, 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 hey. We're not going to have a wood fight. We'll do that later in the video.
Oh,
That just
okay.
sounds dirty.
I'll just carry around a bunch
And
of wood.
painful.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to head back to our train and we're going to tour the rest of our area. I know
Mhm.
there's a lot of people dying to see it. Ross, while we're walking, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how our group came to be?
Well, I came in a few weeks after everyone else had came in, and quite honestly, I just started building, got practicing, and a lot of that work is quite visible now. You'll see it as we get farther down the line. As for what I'm like doing, obviously this for starters. This game has taken a lot of my time since it's come out, but it's not the only thing, obviously. I'm a fan of role-playing games like D&D and other various tabletop games, as well as working on Warhammer 40k. I like painting the models for that, so a lot of hand-eye coordination and attention to detail, which does flow through with my work here.
He has done an amazing job. In fact, between him and Verdadaddy, I've never seen two people lay track faster in my life. While Rosander here really excels at bridges, Verdadaddy excels at main lines and setting up difficult circles. And you'll actually get to see that here in a minute when we get over to. Oh no, you actually, Rosander, you set that up, didn't you?
Yeah, with Elemental.
Yeah, you and
Up at
Pally.
Sawmill.
You and Pally set that up.
I'm gonna check the switches real quick, just make sure we're all good before we take off.
Yep,
Yeah, we
yep.
don't want another derail.
Can you?
Yep, just found it.
So, Verdadaddy has laid all of mainline, redone mainline, and redone all the track I do. Because when I lay track, I can't lay it straight. It's just not what I'm good at. I'm good at sheds. These
The
two,
shed man.
these two are insanely fast at laying track. All right, so this is our flagship right here, Big Bertha. She's the 800, which is a Class 70 series. We've named
She's
her.
actually H0 as homage to her special status.
Yep. And she actually inspired us tonight to go through the painstaking replacement of every vehicle we have. And
We spent a good 2 hours on that.
a lot of vehicles. Every
Are
one
you
of
sure
our.
it's just 2 hours?
Yeah, it felt like more. All of our vehicles are now labeled with OTR for homage to what we'd like to show you guys off the rails. And right now, I think we're just going to get into it, and I think I'm going to have Ross drive for us.
Copy.
And why don't we head up to logging first? And while we're heading up, we'll be pointing out some of the stuff that we've worked on. And, you know, if we do happen to have a derail along the way, I'm sure as always, it's my fault.
I mean, if it happened to be a track, it very much would be.
Yeah, but usually I'm the one that forgets to flip switches and tells everybody, yeah, your switches are good, crunch.
Wait a second, hold on, I think the switch is not live.
Yeah,
Right.
on the line switch.
Oh,
Let me
see,
go.
they all look good to me, but then I look up again and there's the one that's not. See, I would have told them everything's good, just go for it, and we'd end
I
up...
lined it, and then it went the other way.
That is actually a known game glitch, where sometimes you'll switch the switch, it'll send the data to the host, and the host will actually just decide that it doesn't want to listen.
Alright, well, we're lined.
We're aligned now, so this
Lower
right
on
here...
pressure.
Are we low on pressure?
We are a little low. We spent a little long chatting, I think.
That's
I'll give
fine.
you some.
Fuel is good. I already fired her up before we started moving.
So usually when a train leaves Roundhouse, if the person forgot to fill it the night before, they have plenty of time to fill it, pull forward, and then back down the line we're passing right now and go get their carts. We try to get our carts put away every night. That being said, it only happens probably 1 in 3 nights, which means the next morning we get to put carts away and get ready for the day's work. We do host every day from 7:45 a.m. until midnight Pacific Standard Time. I try to keep the server up as much as possible. With us starting a YouTube channel, we're now going to have our server down a little bit until I can get the other copy of Railroad I have up and running to where I can run it and as a streaming if we're doing something that doesn't need to be all live. And right there we have, I didn't catch the name of that.
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand. It's waiting to go out. There's nobody in it right now. We were supposed to have 2 more people tonight, but they, one didn't show and one let me know he was going to be too busy to make it. So, that happens. It is a game.
It's life.
We are here to have fun, so we don't stress over who shows up and who doesn't.
You know, I will say that like it's been kind of cool like getting like a group together. Shout out to my boys at the Porter Gang. But you know, like people come and go. Like they'll come and they'll pitch in, and they just it's kind of great to have this camaraderie of people. So.
Oh, we need a point switched.
Oh,
I'll handle it.
Quite literally, we can go down to the Discord, the main Discord server, and go, hey, I need freight ran, and you'll get 3 or 4 volunteers to come and run your freight, not get anything for it, because your character file does not transfer between saves. So they get absolutely nothing other than the joy of working with you.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's
it's
what
a game of community.
It is. That was the line we needed to take. I said lumber.
The line was thrown,
I
but
threw it.
It's the bug we just talked about. Do
Yeah.
not throw it. Do not throw it.
I won't.
I just figured I'd let you know before we actually ran all the ways to Sawmill. Sawmill's kind
Yeah,
of
no, I noted.
Sawmill's kind of a pretty thing to look at. So
That was another good 3-4 hours.
I will be attaching. So if you go onto the online map, we are set up as public for our maps. So you are able through that site to look at our map and download it. So if you want to see how something's built, tear it apart, or you just want a pretty map to run on for a little while and you're frustrated with some of the building tools because you haven't quite figured out the lines yet, which we've got one player where he's at that point where it's hard for him to run the lines. Now here's the wooden bridges I was talking about, and apparently we're gonna hammer through here. Okay, hey, we stayed on the track. All right.
I've done a few times.
Yeah, this is a wooden track with a wooden deck bridge. Wooden deck track with a wooden bridge, and they really complement themselves, each other. I'm gonna rotate my camera here a bit to give you guys a little bit better of a view, and get hit by a tree while I'm doing it, and another one.
Don't you love it?
One of the glitches in the game right now is the tree bug, the dreaded tree bug, and that is if you cut down too many trees, all the clients will have every tree that's been cut down repopulate in front of them, but they're not there per se. You can glitch through them, you can't cut them down, and if you hit them with the train, it desyncs the whole server and everybody gets irritated.
Yep.
So there's now a tool out there to fix that. I just found out. I'll be linking a description in our YouTube video to that tool, because it does repopulate the world with all the trees, and then all you have to do is go back and have a tree cutting party to clear your tracks. And then you know you've cut down too many trees, which is amazing. Shout out to the author of that. It will be at the bottom of our Discord, or at the bottom of our YouTube. Along with a link to our Discord if you want to stop by and say hi. We'll have it set up for members for people to swing by and say hi if they want to check stuff out. Now we're coming up onto lumber here, and Hewitt, one of our members, he's actually our Discord admin, was the brainchild of this. We did have the track straightened by Verdadaddy, just because track sometimes can be really hard to lay when you're...
Would you like to throw that point behind us so we could return direct to Sawmill?
You got it.
Just be sure we're watching out for that other train, because there is one up here working.
I've already called out to him.
Oops, hold on. There we go. We are good to go. You're good to back.
Are you on the train already?
No, I'm not on the train.
You're leaving him behind, sir.
I'm running.
Well, looks like our coordination didn't work. Throw the switch
sorry.
behind.
He
Switch
needs
has
to
been
go.
thrown.
He needs to go to Sawmill. Switch the other switch. Flip it back for
Wait.
us.
We need to go onto the track we just came on.
You got it.
And see, this is what happens when you're on a busy railroad. Even if you coordinate, sometimes lost in translation. So,
Switch is lined.
uh,
Can we line it back?
yes, please.
Yes,
set it
you
back
need
for
to.
him.
And I'll inform him he is clear to proceed.
Now,
Alright.
the rail bed we're on is the dirt rail bed, and if you look, it makes these really tall, angular road beds, which are great in some spots. They also make really handy tools when you're building bridges and you need to climb up to the top of the bridge. We're actually about to get passed by a train. I might go into first person here and just give him a little shout. Because... Jim!